What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Finally getting the chance to start working on the new Low Rider. So over here, as you can see, got a whole bunch of parts that we're going to dig into. So I don't know if we're going to actually get to everything. We're probably going to make it maybe, two-parter, three-parter. We'll see. But mostly just doing some aesthetic stuff. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so first things first, I ride a lot with my girlfriend, so we are going to change this seat out for one that can accommodate the passenger, and then we're also going to be installing some passenger footwear, foot pegs, foot brackets. We're also going to be installing some passenger foot pegs, and then while I'm at it, I figure I'm just going to change out my foot controls as well, so let's get to it. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to start off with the passenger foot pegs. So here are the foot pegs and supply kit. So got the actual pegs here, all the mounting hardware, don't forget your Loctite. And then I have, check these out, very nice new pegs from Thrash and Supply. Ooh-wee, look at those. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright guys, so I'm starting on the left side here. One of the first things that you're going to look for, you got these two little holes here. They got plugs in them. I actually have the plug out of this top one. So this side it doesn't have, you can see on the actual pegs themselves, they have this little notch here. On this side, they don't have that. So you just kind of have to line it up yourself, whatever looks, straight. So, yeah. So the first thing you're going to want to do, drip some Loctite on the bolt. Be sure not to spill it everywhere like I did. And then after that, just line it up through the bracket and into the hole. It's a T35, I believe, Torx bit. Might be T40. Either way, you need a deeper bit to actually get in there because obviously the hole is kind of deep. So after you get it in there, like I said, line up the bracket the right way where it needs to go. And then after you get it all tightened down, you're ready to move on to the next part, which is putting the actual foot peg on. Now, Thrash and Supply does a great job of giving you a nice, deep hole in the actual mounting bracket there to put the little spring and the little ball bearing. Be careful with the ball bearing, guys. It likes to jump out everywhere. So what you're going to want to do is just kind of sit it in there and then fit the bracket over like this. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of finding the best way to put the ball bearing in there so that it lines up with its little mounting point without shooting everywhere. You will lose so many of these if you're not careful. So after you get it all lined up, put all of that into the bracket. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but you can kind of just push it in there like that. I find it works best if you put it in the up position. It makes it a lot easier. Just kind of line everything up and then put your pin through. It might take a couple tries to line it up. If you're having trouble, use a screwdriver or just something straight that you can fit through the hole there to make sure that everything's lining up. The last thing that you need to do is put this little retaining ring on. These things can be kind of a bitch, but just kind of find whatever way to push it on there you can. If anyone has any good tricks for how to get these things on, let me know. Really, give it a good push in place. Bear with me.
2,000 years later.
Okay, so I managed to muscle it on there. And there you go. There's your peg. Obviously this is still loose. I'm gonna have my girlfriend actually sit on it and figure out exactly where we want it to go before we tighten that down, but let's basically just repeat the process over on the other side and then we'll get to the seat. So there we go. New passenger pegs on, the other one is installed on the other side. Like I said, just repeat the process, no big deal. The next thing though is we have to take care of those ugly things. I mean, they're not bad. I know a lot of people really didn't like the feel of them. I personally didn't think they were terrible, but either way, we have, boom, these new San Diego Custom mini floorboards. I think these are awesome. So let's get those installed. So the first thing you need to do is remove the retaining ring from the original peg. Do your best not to bend it. You're gonna keep that along with the spring and the actual pin that goes through the foot peg. Those are the three things that you need to keep. All right, so the biggest thing to pay attention to when you're doing this is this little hole right here. You wanna make sure here, I'll show you on the original peg. So see how it's facing up in that top left corner if you're looking at it? Okay, so you need to make sure that the spring lines up in the same direction, because this actually keeps the peg in place like this. I hope you guys can see that. So you line it up in the hole there, make sure it's seated, and then when you come in to put it in here, you line everything up and put it in the hole in the mounting block, and you take your little clevis peg, line everything up, and push that through. Because see now, this is loose right now because I gotta adjust the angle, but now when this goes up, if it ever does, it springs back down into place for you so that you always know your foot peg is gonna be right there where you need it. All right guys, so the next thing we gotta do to get this thing passenger ready is to install a sissy bar. So that's our next step. So I'm just gonna breeze through this part because it's really simple. I mean, it's 4 bolts, so I'm using the Harley-Davidson hold fast docking gear. Basically, it's like I said, it's just 4 bolts. Take them off each individually so that you don't lose the backing plate to the bracket. After you're done tightening them, just torque them down to spec. It's all included in the instructions. And then once you have all of your mounting hardware in place, it's really simple. I really like this sissy bar just because all you're gonna do is you can literally just clip it down into place and it's ready to go. And then whenever you need to take it off, you can. So I know what you guys are thinking. We've done this whole video on 2-up stuff and I don't even have a 2-up seat. Well, I'm assuming you guys know how to take off your seat screw. Don't need this anymore because we have this beautiful 2-up seat Saddleman from San Diego Customs. This thing is amazing. I am like literally in love. But before we put this thing on, I have a cool trick to show you. So as you can see, you've got this little nut right here and you need to relocate it back here. So first things first, you can take out this little plug. You don't need that anymore. But once you take out this little nut here that's holding this on, that screw's just gonna drop out of there. Now, it's okay, obviously, try not to lose it too bad, but it's probably just dropped on the ground. But here's the cool trick that I'm gonna show you guys. Hang on one second. Okay, so once you've grabbed this, you could just try to reach up through your fender, try to do it that way. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of an easier trick using just an extra nut and either some fishing line or dental floss like I have here. Basically what you're gonna do is take enough of this, just kind of reach down through here. I would say fishing line is probably gonna be a little bit easier to use. What you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna feed this down through here. Sorry, my fingers are all sticky. Also helps if you have a buddy or something, someone that can grab this once it gets through to the other side. So once you have it threaded through here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your little thread and tie it, or not tie it, but you're gonna pull it through here like this. Make sure you don't scratch your tank or anything like that. Then you're gonna take your extra little nut, you're gonna feed that through. But what you're gonna do, you're gonna take that and tie it off just like that. So now this is on the end here. So now all I gotta do is take it, feed it under there, pull it right up, give it a little spin, and it is held in place just like that. Pop the retainer back on, and you're good to go. And now this thing will just thread right back out. Check that out, huh? How cool. And now, of course, we are ready to put on this beauty. I'll get that on like that. I actually have some really cool seat hardware here from Saddlemen. This is their security kit, so we're gonna go ahead and put that on too. So anyway guys, here it is. Here's the update. The pegs look really good. I also went ahead and installed a gold shift arm there from Thrash and Supply too. Match the back pegs. Trying to keep it understated, not too much gold. But anyway guys, drop a comment, drop a like if you like this video. Hit subscribe, really helps me start this channel out. But hope you guys found this at least entertaining, if not a little bit educational, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.